What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV, back at it again with another bang of my friends. Y'all know the vibes. Kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
This is the type of performance, this is what we expected from Uconn. This is what we thought Uconn would look like at the beginning of the season. When we saw all that talent on the roster with AZ Fudd and Paige Bueckers and Sarah Strong and KK Arnold and all these other players, Aubrey Griffin, who was really good in this game, AZ Fudd leading the way with 28 points. Like, when we saw Uconn on paper, this is the form of Uconn we thought we would see. This was the Uconn that we thought we would see coming into the season. This is the team I felt like was the second best team in the country. This version of Uconn, which we haven't seen in big games at all whatsoever. So this is an absolute, just shocking performance right now. Like, I am shell-shocked. What this means for Uconn, you pass your final test. You prove that you can play with the big dogs. Like, you silence all the haters. You prove that you have one of the most dynamic scorers in the country. You prove that AZ Fudd should be easily, without a doubt, a top 5 pick. She could be top 3 after this game. You prove that you are an efficient offense. You prove that you can rebound. You prove that you can play with toughness. Like, there was a lot that Uconn proved today. You proved that it's not a fluke what you're doing in the Big East and that you can get hot on any given night. You proved that this team is a championship caliber team. If you're Uconn, you definitely feel like you can beat anybody at this point right now. If I'm Uconn, I feel like I can beat anybody in the country right now. If I'm Uconn, I'm definitely thinking championship or bust right now. I think the next thing is for them to get fully healthy. But seeing what we saw from the role players, seeing what we saw from AZ Fudd, seeing the efficiency, seeing Paige Bueckers become the orchestrator of this team and really deliver dime after dime after dime, seeing that you are one of the most dangerous three-point shooting teams, one of the most efficient offenses in the country, proving that you can guard and put pressure on opposing defenses, proving that you can win the big games, proving that you can close out and keep your foot on the pedal when you get a lead. Like, Uconn showed toughness today. They showed efficiency. They showed a punch that we haven't seen in their big matchups. Like, this was a totally different Uconn team. We haven't seen this Uconn team all season, man. I loved what Aubrey Griffin did. Like, honestly, man, seeing what she did on the glass, playing the 5 when Sarah Strong got into foul trouble, I think you definitely have to salute her for her. I mean, at 6'1", down there banging down there. 3 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. But I think what she did more so doesn't show up in the box score. Like, Aubrey Griffin played great defense. She ran the floor hard. She boxed out really well and kept South Carolina's bigs off the glass. Jano Alfie did well protecting the paint. Other than Joyce Edwards, like, they had Sanaya Fagan and Chloe Kitts locked in hell out there. Like, these bigs for Uconn, man. Sarah Strong, I told y'all they got more length this year. Jano Alfie played tough minutes, 8 points, 1 rebound, or 1 assist, 6 rebounds. We want to know, would she come in and be a finisher around the rim? Would she come in and run the floor hard? Would she defend? Would she bother shots? Would they be able to shrink the floor and limit transition with her on the court? She did her job tonight. Sarah Strong, through foul trouble, still 16 points, 4 assists, 13 rebounds. Her ability to play the perimeter, handle the basketball, like, she's just much more developed in her game right now than Joyce Edwards is. And that's no shade to Joyce Edwards, but I'm just saying, man. Roderick, welcome in, welcome in. Tim, hey, man, down goes Uconn, yes, but she's way more advanced right now, way more polished. She can handle the basketball. She can bring it up the court. She can shoot the three-point shot. She's an elite passer. You can run the offense through her. They said that she couldn't defend. I'm not sure that we're saying, she's a liability out there anymore. Like, she's elite on the glass. She's continued to improve, boxing out, using her frame, establishing position, showing more burst. Like, Sarah Strong definitely battled through foul trouble and showed that times got tough and she got tougher. She played through frustration. shot the basketball, used her size, like her in transition, beating the South Carolina bigs down the court, calling for the ball, demanding the basketball. Like, if y'all would have told me that Paige Bueckers would have only had 12 points in this contest and UConn would have blew South Carolina out, I probably wouldn't have believed you. I'm going to be honest. But the 10 assists are huge. UConn took care of the basketball, only 10 turnovers compared to South Carolina's 12. They were efficient. They found open shots. They had South Carolina running around with like chickens with their heads cut off, man. With Gamecocks with their heads cut off out there, with those ball switches, with those handoffs. I mean, Paige Bueckers was the conductor tonight. She did exactly what South Carolina, exactly what UConn needed her to do. She ran the point guard position. She found her teammates in transition. They made shots. She commanded a lot of attention when she attacked the cup and deferred to her teammates, and they helped carry the squad. But 12 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds. Paige Bueckers is a player that people have been very critical of. Her disappearing in late and close games. Her doing a lot of ball watching. Her not asserting herself offensively. We saw Paige Bueckers have that. She had that look at her. She had that killer instinct today. And then, I mean, again, back to AZ Fudd. I continue to say that she would be the X factor in this contest. Yeah, that score was crazy, but I continue to say AZ Fudd would be the difference maker in this contest. Talk about her struggles, her trials, her tribulations, how she lost her confidence, how she was overthinking things, how she rattled through injuries this year, how she had to go to a sports psychologist and really just break down her mental and get her confidence back, get her swagger back, and she lit South Carolina tails up. She lit South Carolina up today. Sheesh! Roderick, my God, no Wilson, no Boston, no Cardoso equals Sweet 16. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. People act like SC can't be beat in any given Sunday. UConn is a Power 5 school. Man, I tell you what, this is like the old days when Don Staley first got to UConn, or first got to South Carolina, and UConn was spanking that tail on a regular basis. This gave you the reminder of the old days. 71 game streak, 71 game win streak at home snapped. And you do not go into Colonial Life Arena and walk out with a dub like that, man. Not only did UConn get a dub, they put belt to butt. They put belt to rump. I'm talking about dominant performance, statement win. No, I mean, a lot of people felt like UConn was going to get blown out. College game day in the building. And South Carolina looked very beatable. And I've said that. If you can get South Carolina, if you can limit transition, keep them off the glass, they're not a good shooting team. If you can limit second chance points, if you can make 3-point shots because they haven't defended the three extremely well in certain games, if you can make the 3-point shot, if you have a guard that can create space, if you have slashers that can get to the cup, if you have shooters, if you have a playmaker that can orchestrate the offense, luckily for South Carolina, or luckily for UConn, they got two of them in Sarah Strong as well as Paige Bueckers, the conductor. Paige the conductor Bueckers tonight, or today. Move the basketball well. I think she's dealt with a lot of criticism, and it really hasn't phased her, man. Gino Auriemma has been very critical about Paige as well, very critical about the team, and I think he'll even be singing their praises after this contest. Like, this is eye-opening. This is what you wanted to see as a UConn fan. This team is a championship level team. They put all the doubt to bed in one game. One game. AZ Fudd feels like she should be a top 3 pick, top 4 pick, without a doubt. One game changed the trajectory of her draft stock from a potential top 5 pick to a potential top 3 pick. You're taking a hard look at AZ Fudd, man. I just loved how she attacked the game today. Took what the defense gave her, but definitely forced the issue and made South Carolina feel her, man. We saw all this talent coming back on this UConn roster. They have looked lackadaisical at times. They have looked soft at times. And they came out and brought their A game today. And UConn's A game When they're playing their A game, they are a national championship contender. Now what's next for UConn is just power through the Big East and get ready for an NCAA tournament run because they're looking different right now. This is the UConn you want to see. Fans rejoice. If you are a UConn fan, you're seeing this team peak at the right time. UConn is peaking at the right time. They are playing great basketball at the right time. This is when you want to see your team reach their ceiling. I think Caitlin Chin was a lot more aggressive than we've seen her in the past too, man. Like she came out trying to find her offense, shooting open shots as well, man. Caitlin Chin, 10 points. This is her first double-digit scoring game since I don't know when. Like, it feels like it's been a while, especially out of conference. Out of conference, Caitlin Chin scoring 10 points, it's been a while. I think she was one of the X factors in this contest. We're talking about a multi-Ivy League Player of the Year, took Princeton to multiple NCAA tournaments, like one of the best transfers that was available. They needed her to fill that Nico Mule role. She came out aggressive and shot. She did not hesitate. This was a great game for Caitlin Chin, man. I think she defended decently. I think she came out and shot the ball well. She didn't hesitate. She didn't pass up open shots. Like, this was a big confidence boost for Caitlin Chin. If they can continue to get this production out of players like Caitlin Chin, like, this backcourt is going to be special. This was a quiet game for KK Arnold, but I think she was pretty good defensively. KK Arnold, 2 points, 2 assists, 6 rebounds, though. Big rebounds. 6 big rebounds. She was down there in the post getting rebounds over South Carolina's bigs. Like, KK Arnold was down there scrapping. UConn came out with a message to send. This felt personal. This felt personal to me. But y'all are right. Anybody can. This game proves it. If you didn't know, now you know. Anybody can get got any given night, any given Sunday. Word to Jamie Foxx, LL Cool J, Al Pacino, any given Sunday. Anybody can get got. This is the most wide open that we've seen the NCAA in quite some time. This was the Paige Bueckers we're asking for all season. She started out aggressive. She started out hunting her shot, attacking the basket, had the double-digit assists as well. Paige Bueckers was the orchestrator. Paige Bueckers was the orchestrator for this offense, for sure. And AZ Fudd delivered a dominant performance. I mean, her all-ball movement, getting open, running hard in transition, knocking down shots, attacking off the dribble. Like, this was just an incredible performance from AZ Fudd, man. Salute to her. I said that I felt like she had to be the X factor in this game. Caitlin Chin also came out more aggressive. Ashlyn Shade made some shots. Like, this was a total team performance. You got 4 players in double figures. Sarah Strong finished with 16, 4, and 13 and battled foul trouble throughout the whole game, man. Ashlyn Shade, 9 off the bench. Paige Bueckers, a very efficient 12 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds. Gave UConn exactly what they needed, man. Gave UConn exactly what they needed from her. And they just came out and absolutely shot the lights out. They were on South Carolina's rump the entire game. The entire game. From the jump, this team came out and established the toughness and the tone of this contest, in my opinion, man. UConn shot 43.7% from the field, 13 of 28 from 3. They shot 46.4% from the 3. I told y'all they would have to limit South Carolina in transition, keep them off the free throw line, defend without fouling. Last several games, South Carolina shot over 20 free throws. In this contest, they held them to just 11 free throws, which I think was a big factor. And then they dominated the glass. 48 rebounds compared to 33 rebounds. 33 defensive rebounds for UConn. When you talk about leading South Carolina, you talk about holding them to one possession, one shot per possession. We know South Carolina does a lot of damage on the glass, getting those second chance points opportunities. UConn absolutely shut that down. 22 assists. 22 assists for UConn. Talk about moving the basketball, man. Gino Auriemma cannot be prouder. He's been talked about. I've talked about him. A lot of negative comments. People calling him washed, which he still might be. But for this day, UConn showed something special, man. If they play at this level, they are a championship team. They are peaking at the right time. They are heading into March. We saw them look not so great against Tennessee. We saw them lose against Notre Dame. Like a lot of top 10 games, UConn has not won this year. Today, They brought out their best. They awakened a monster up there in Storrs, Connecticut, man. Like, when they get back to Connecticut, I'm telling you right now, watch out for UConn. Yo, let me catch up in the comments. Guys, just an excellent performance for UConn. Perfect game plan. AZ Bud was out there giving out straight work. She's coming off her season high 34 points against St. John and came in absolutely electrifying. And this is just what, the 33rd game we've seen Paige Bueckers and AZ Bud play together. Like, when these two players get together, AZ Bud and Paige Bueckers are an absolute dominant force. AZ Fudd had to remind us who the F she is. She had to remind us who she is, man. Just lights out performance. Not just shooting threes. Like, yeah, she made all the open threes. She was moving off ball. They made an effort to get her the basketball. But attacking these South Carolina guards off the dribble. Putting pressure on them in transition. It felt like UConn had South Carolina on the ropes the whole game. Had them on their heels the whole game, man. Like, Janelle Alfie played some valuable minutes, and they were down Ice Brady and Morgan Shelley, too, man. UConn wasn't even 100% in this contest. Paige Bueckers, absolutely the orchestrator. Agree with you there. Groovy. South Carolina, more losses this year than the past 3 seasons, and South Carolina fans are absolutely losing it right now. South Carolina fans are absolutely losing it. They have not been in this position in a while. Definitely first time there is 8 teams that can win it all. Absolutely. And I've been screaming Notre Dame all year. Fresh cut grass. Good old-fashioned butt whooping. Good old-fashioned butt whooping. UConn is peaking at the right time, and I love how they are getting those offensive rebounds. I mean, it was a total team effort. They were scrapping on the glass.